Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got quite a nice rack, but it's not bingo-y. And I really need to do something about U, V and Y. I could play Viney, keeping U's for about 20 points. I'm just wondering about changing U, V, Y. EINS is a very strong 4-letter set, probably worth about 15 to 20 points. Can I do anything better than Viney? Well, on reflection, I think probably it is better to play than to change. Ivy for 18. Pretty good. This looks very close to a bingo. But is there one here? Certainly very high probability. So I would hope to get it. Just considering each letter in turn as a starting tile. Can't see anything beginning with an A or an E. N, R, S or U. Opponent has blocked uneasier. Do I have anything through the Y? I don't think so. How about a play through the A? Well, I have nothing to go in front of Ivy. What about through XI? So an XY word. Not seeing anything. I've sort of been lingering in the hope that a 7-letter play would come to mind, and it hasn't. So how to sort this rack out? And it's tricky because the rack is so good. I'm reluctant to play anything. However, I do need to get rid of the Y. So I could just play YU here. And this is quite a good rack leave. I could play AYU. I think I will. 8 points. Pretty good 5-letter set. And I'm creating new bingo lanes, and I'm optimistic about bingoing next go. Well, has that optimism been misplaced? And I knowingly left alone this hotspot around Axe because I couldn't see a good way of playing there. Just not seeing a 7 with this rack and no floaters on the board. However, I do have a scoring tile in the F, which for the moment goes above this A of Axe as well as in front. And I'm sure there are plenty of 8s with these tiles. Wow, nice bingo by my opponent. Do any of the 8s assist? Any of the floaters assist, rather. I could do with a T for fastener and fenestra. Fortunately, this F spot remains available, and there's another one lower down. So quite tempting to play that for 26, keeping a pretty good 6-letter set. Am I missing something? Well, I may be, but I'm not seeing it. The alternative here would be to play FE. I think AENRS slightly better than with an additional E. And there's a floating E in Enolays. Yeah, so FE for 26. Great, I surely am bingoing this turn. So what do I have? All all very high probability tiles. Well, no 7-letter bingo has come to mind, which is incredible because I think this looks like there is one there. However, what I do have is reasoned through the E, so I certainly am bingoing. Enolays doesn't take an R at the end, just an S. And I don't think reasoned has got an anagram. So can I do better than reasoned? I don't think so. So reasoned for 70. Pretty good. I have the Z, and I am immediately drawn to this triple letter square. Do I have an OZ play? Not sure I do, which is a shame. I have 0 in column 8. There could be an 8-letter bingo here. Good score by my opponent. He hasn't provided anywhere great for my Z. "14 minutes on my clock." I'd quite like to get rid of the U, but U and Z together, tricky to play. Gauze through an A. So ZER would keep ING together, and it would keep U and N together. So I've got the UN prefix right now. Okay, well, I'm not seeing a bingo. Can I do anything better than 0? 0 for 39. What about zing in row C? 42, keeping ERU. I have Grizz on my rack. $42 for zing. 6 more points than 0, and I'm keeping an E. And I'm providing an easy scoring spot. I think 0 is better. But can I do better than either? 39 points, so it's closer than the score difference I mentioned. I'm going with this. Well, having retained the U, I am rewarded with the Q, which is pretty good. I have Qi Gong on my rack, retaining the U. Can't see anywhere for that. Opponent doesn't provide anything. I've got Qua. It would be nice to play off one of the G's, but I'm not seeing anywhere to be able to do that. Just checking for Qi Gong. Wow, close. Because Oh Ho's is good, I think. Might not be. I have Coin on my rack. I've got Chi and AI. Well, I'd rather get rid of the U. 12 minutes on my clock and I trail. So Qua for 32. Well, that's not too bad. It looks close to a bingo. I've got the ing ending. Nothing's coming to mind. Qua takes an A in front, so row A available. And an A something Z play would score quite well, even if it didn't reach a triple word square. My G can go in front of the U of Hult, and an O can go in front of K, so there is potential for a good score in column 2, but not with this current rack. I can play Zing. I trail by 20. Opponent's been playing quite quickly. 48 tiles still to come, including both blanks. Now I have King and Feg, which looks a slightly better play. Well, opponent's played there annoyingly, having just spotted it. I have Ingot and Tygon on my rack. I don't think Treasoned is good. So I have plenty of options with this rack. What I don't have is terribly much scoring potential. Two S's and two blanks, and I mentioned that because I was thinking of playing twoing, and it takes an S. 20 points. Well, what about a play just down from the D, doing? 14 points. Invites opponent to play across from the G to the triple word square, which will create floaters for me. Such a low score, 14 points. And I'm placing a vowel next to a triple letter square, but if I play dingo, then I'm placing an O next to this double letter square. 10 minutes on my clock. I feel there's something better. Ivy takes nothing after it. Just wondering if I can play off both G's since my score is so miserly. Well, I'm not seeing a way of doing that. So I'm not a great fan of this, but I'm playing doing for 14. Well, this is a really problematic rack because it's not bingo-y. I've got no scoring tiles, they're all one-pointers, and I've got duplicate, so I'm looking at another low-scoring move. And with two blanks out there, if opponent bingos now, they're in a strong position. Great, just 7 points. Can I sort this rack out? So I'd like to play GIT, at which point the rack leave is pretty good. A Tiki would sort it out even better. Still quite a few I's to come. Rut doesn't take anything after it that I have. So, what about just playing Git? I think I'll do this, 15 points. It does take an E, but I think I need to keep the board open. I am behind. I dodge all of the E's, but I do now have some scoring tiles. Very few floaters on the board. Just looking at the D of Hulked. Not seeing anything through that. I have Cab in column 12, which forks the board and sorts the rack out. I do have longer words with this rack. I have cabrit. Just looking in column 2 to see if that plays. Hose does take an R in front. Quite ominous, this delay and the low score by my opponent. I feel they may well be sitting with a powerhouse of a rack. And I mean, although I'm very close at the moment, a bingo is going to put me in massive trouble. And if opponent plays across from the G, I can't think of any floaters which would give me an 8. It's possible there is one or more, but not that I can see. Now, do I have a 6-letter play ending in A? Well, I would have, I think, wow, nice bingo by my opponent, 64 points. So what I can do is play crab, which gives me the best rack lead. 33 points is a decent score. I'm creating a new bingo lane. I'm going with this. Great, I draw the blank and the rest of the rack not too bad. And I only trail by 40. So this looks like, or feels like, there's a bingo through the B. I have variety on my rack as a 7. Nowhere for that. I have sybarite, I have bestiary. Bestiary is the play. A better play would be one with the Y doubled. Now, do I have an alternative bingo? That could easily be blocked with these premium squares under vowels. And it's not blocked. What has opponent done? AW at the top. Fantastic. I live in hope. Bestiary for 89. Bang. And that's not a bad pickup. I may not have a bingo, but it's a balanced rack and I've got a couple of good scoring tiles. I've also got a 20-point lead. 17 tiles in the bag, including a blank, but no S's. Let me count the remaining vowels. 9 out of 24. Wow. Vowel dry. So, where are the spots for my F and P? Nowhere leaping out at me. Well, I have pilfer in column 14, which is going to score quite well, but open up column 15. And I may not want to play off both of my vowels given the shortage. Hopefully opponent is plagued with O's. So I could play EF at the bottom. I could play def at the bottom, which takes out the R and Y as floaters, and in particular the R, because that's the most useful. It preserves a vowel and it scores quite well. Just scanning the board in case there are any floaters that I need to consider with this rack. Still one A for aqua. Now, just looking at this Y, I do have LY, ILY and fly. Do I have a bingo? No. Well, opponent opens a lane, plays off a couple of O's. I think I'll stick with this plan. Def for 29, it's a good score. And a bingo for my opponent in column 2 would enable me to score well in column 1. While if I play in column 2 myself to block a bingo, I'll be providing a scoring opportunity for opponent in column 1. So I think this is the right place to play. 7 minutes on my clock. Well, do I have fillows in column 2? Nope. Am I confusing that with something? I thought it was an alternative spelling of the pastry. Maybe it's spelt with a Y. Anyway, it's not good. And I'm not seeing an anagram of it. I've got the I for an IFY word, which doesn't have to be a bingo to score well. I'm not seeing anything. Great, just 8 points for my opponent. I lead by 40. 10 tiles in the bag. No new floaters provided. I could do with scoring because I'm only 40 points ahead. So it would be good to score 30 or 40 such that a bingo only enables my opponent to catch up rather than overtake. Can't see anything beginning with ZA. So where are the spots for my H? What about underneath the A of airiest? 6 minutes on my clock. And I'd certainly want to play off one of the L's. I've got nothing which goes after EW. Wow, tricky position. Nothing to go in front of U. I have polish on my rack. Tempting. Because it's 42 points. And you'll see that my opponent has been playing off just a couple of tiles here, a couple of tiles there. By playing off 6 tiles in one go, I restrict the number of times he can or she can carry on doing that. So I think polish has merit. And there are vowels on the board. So I'm going with this. Pretty grim. However, I lead by 80 points. Is it going to be enough? If opponent bingos now, they'll be drawing 4 tiles. They may be able to go out. And I've got a pretty tricky rack. Wow, this is really horrid. Great, opponent doesn't bingo. 2 tiles in the bag. And not too many bingo lanes. I guess column 1 is the biggest. How much time do I have? 5 minutes. Do I have anything in column 1? No, because I have nothing which goes in front of H. Mose is good. Mu is good. Well, I can still try and outrun my opponent. So rather than blocking the bingo, how about trying to score 30 or 40 points? And what about trying to turn over a lot of tiles so that when I pick the last 2... Well, I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure that works. I think maybe I need to leave 1 in the bag. In which case, why don't I just play Mose for 9, which kills column 1 as a bingo lane. Forces opponent into column 13. I'm going with this. Wow, and I draw the blank. There's 1 in the bag. I think Guillen is good, so opponent may have a bingo in column 13. But that's not going to score as much as a column 1 bingo. I am 73 points in front. Opponents, apart from the C, has only got 1 point tiles. And if they... Great, so they have bingoed 75 points. Opponent leads by 2. Opponent has got an O, can score 12 points with op. 4 minutes on my clock. So, what to do here? Does Vamp win? Probably. Has opponent got anything amazing with the O? 12 points with op. 10 for Mo. I'm not doing this massively systematically. So no, I don't think there is anything fantastic, in which case Vamp does the job. 36 points, so I'll be 34 ahead. 8 on countback. Opponent needs 26 points to draw. That's not going to happen with an O. I'm going with this. And look at that, Ancient would have played in column 1. Critical move. "10 minutes on opponent's clock, so they've been playing pretty fast. Well, I had 3 minutes left. Maybe I should have spent a little bit longer, perhaps looking for a bingo, but with V&P, unlikely. So, the final score, 446 to my opponent, 460 for me, a winning margin of 14 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go fast. Vaney for 30? Yes, possibly. I play Ivy for 18, 12 fewer points. But it's important not to provide a lot of floaters at the beginning of the game, and Vaney provides an E in the middle of a double-double lane. So I like my play. Opponent's rack plays Axe. Few. No high probability 7-letter bingo popping up. I didn't like my play here. IU for 8. But nothing huge on offer, and if I'd scored 20 points I would have totally wrecked the rack. So IU kept Sneer, EENRS, and Sneer is a lot better than AS. Is it 12 points better? Yeah, it might be of that order. Opponent's rack. Great bingo, Eno lays. Now, this was my rack. Phew. Again, I felt I was a bit rusty at the beginning of this game and may have been missing bingos, but not on this rack. So I play FE for 26, which is similar scores to here, and the bigger scores are only about 10 points more, but they wreck the rack. Opponent's rack. Koja for 81 was available. Wow, what a monster of a play. Opponent plays Joe for 36, leaving 50 points on the table. Now, this was my rack. Wow, and look at that. Reasoned was the only bingo. I was really beginning to doubt whether I'd got my Scrabble head on when this rack appeared. It looks like there should be a 7, but I couldn't see one. I play Reasoned. Opponent plays Halt, which was a good spot. And this was a troublesome rack. M2. Zig. Yep, ZE takes nothing in front, so that would have been a nice play. And a pretty decent rack leave. So I play 0 for 39. Okay, not too far off. But Zig is nice because it jettisons the G. Now, opponent's rack. No missed bingo. Plays Mob. And I'm in trouble. Guchin. I've missed that before. L6. Yeah, very nice. Guchin and Feg. That's annoying. So I played Qua for 32. Same number of points, but Guchin has a better rack leave. Geo much better than GGINO. Probably 5 or 6 points better. I'm not sure. Opponent's rack plays Kit. And I have a choice of low scoring plays, and I find one which is even lower scoring. Doing for 14, which I'm sure is not best. So C8. Routing. Yeah, that would have been a much nicer play. Doesn't give too much away. Turns over a lot of tiles and scores more. Opponent's rack plays Rut. And I played Git, which I think is fine. All of these are low scoring plays, and Git keeps a decent rack leave. Nice bingo by opponent, Airiest, and I now trail by 70. J8, Cabrit through the R, Yap for 39, I do Crab for 33. Is Rate 6 better than AR? Yeah, I would say it is, and if not, I would say it's close, so I'm happy with my play. Opponent plays Or. And now I have Best Jury for 89. And other bingos, Dietary. I'm just wondering why Sybarite hasn't appeared. It's certainly good. Dietary, D2. Yeah, a play ending RY. Same score. Rhetoric in the same spot. And then the same word with the different R as the blank. So not a huge number of bingos there. Opponent's rack plays Un, and this is where it got tricky. It was a nice play by my opponent and it created problems for me. Do I block the bingo lane, which they've clearly created, or do I block another lane? F2, flip. That has some merit, but I went with Def for 29. Opponent's rack, still no bingo, plays Gi. Well, no bingo, but look at this, I could have played Oldish at N1. Well, that's not great, creating a triple lane. I prefer Polish. Turning over tiles, creating a new lane but taking out a lane as well. Opponent plays Wood, and now there are 2 in the bag. M2, Mill. Well, that doesn't block a 7-letter play in column 1, so I don't like that. Let me click Tell Examiner 1 best and see what it comes up with. The play which I found turned out to be the right play for this game, but is it the right play, period? Well, best is Zap, only winning 37% of the time. Well, I played Mose. A13, opponent plays Ancient, also has Ancienter onto ER. And I now trail by 2, but I have Vamp for 36. Let me again see what the Examiner 1B thinks. And there's nothing higher than 36. Veil for 33. A12. Probably to stop opponent playing Mo and No. So I play Vamp. And opponent goes out with Op. And the final score is just 14 points between us, so a terrific battle between the two of us. And quite a lot of games fall into this pattern where your opponent is half a bingo or a bingo behind. They're creating new lanes and you're trying to close them down. And it's just a matter of whether they get their bingo down, or once they've got it down, what are the scores like? And that's what happened in this game. And fortunately, when opponent got Ancient down, I was in a position to respond with Vamp, and that was enough to eke out the win. So super exciting stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.